a two-parter for this one because I do know what the outcome wound up being, but I was very curious about your experience shooting the This Is Your Brain on Drugs PSA, because for the first part of this question here, from an outsider perspective, I look at something like that and I'm like, oh, like you just go in and get it done. It's not the same type of heavy lifting as making a film, but like that PSA, it requires, I think, what might have been a little more from you. So what was it like kind of nailing that shoot, and how did you approach it as an actor?
First of all, I really appreciate that you picked up on that, because something like a PSA isn't just walking in and making a more serious face and saying several lines and doing this and that. You really want to feel like you gave to the people who put weeks and maybe months of prep into making a thing. You just get to show up and sort of run the ball across the end zone, or whatever sports metaphor analogies fits here. I'm so dumb about that, but it's fun to be there, for part of completion. But I really feel a great sense of duty to the people who have put a lot into it, and it was really. It was incredibly meaningful to me to be able to reprise my role in that PSA, given what history has taught us about structural racism, mass incarceration, and the ultimately pretty disastrous, quote unquote, war on drugs.
Do you remember the time, like at what point after making the original PSA did that click for you? And then, I don't know, was there any apprehension? Because it could be a scary situation to kind of step up and make that point, especially for such a well-known series of PSAs. So I don't know, did you have to build the courage to kind of put that out there and put your voice to it?
This is one of the millions of Americans who uses drugs and won't get arrested. However, this American is several times more likely to be charged with a drug crime. Imagine it's you.
The only reason I hesitated about saying yes to it immediately was that I wasn't as well educated as I could have been about what seemed to be the impetus behind making it in the first place, which was, hey, we need to legalize cannabis in all forms, in all 50 states, like right now. And I just didn't, I was just like, I don't have all of the information on this. You know what I mean? Like, why am I didn't want to be the just say no to drugs, girl, but I didn't want to have that spun into the say yes to weed girl thing. Cause I'm not a weed person. Me and that just don't go together. So I felt reticent about joining the campaign for a moment, but then I remember, hearing about Ava DuVernay's 13th, and I saw that, and it completely bowled me over and taught me things that I was afraid I knew, but sort of, really communicated them in Technicolor to me. And I was really glad to have been part of the piece, which we had just shot pretty recently. So I'm sorry, that's my very long-winded answer on that.
No, I think it's a good story to share, because I think that a lot of people are in that position right now where, they might have been misinformed on certain things before, and it can be hard to kind of, maybe admit you're wrong and grow and try to find a new path to discussing something. And like your little version of that right there is a pretty powerful one.
No, I so appreciate that. And what's strange is that, like, yes, the original PSA was paid for by Partnership for a Drug-Free America and got splashed across the cover of newspapers all over the country of here's, I ended up sort of the face of the war on drugs for a little while. But truthfully, the copy to that PSA reads, "Don't do heroin," which I think we can all agree is still a pretty non-controversial statement.